minutes actually since I've done this. So I've set it up. I've got a new fucking interface right here.
Ooh.
And it sounds so clean on my end, and I'm so excited.
I'm very excited to have your silky smooth voice in my ear, like always.
And finally, everyone's silky smooth voice going through individual microphones.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back to Hero HQ, guys. We're here with kind of more of an audio episode today.
But our video listeners are getting a treat too, because you're watching.
You're
gonna watch some Spider-Man, and I tried to avoid like big spoilers, so there's some like little things in there that are spoilery, you know, like.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's stuff that we've seen already, or that you will have seen as like a person watching.
And so we're back today, as you can probably hear. Jordan is not here with us.
Nah, we killed him
because he's a bitch ass and doesn't have the Spider-Man 2 video game, which is what we're talking about today.
Damn.
So we're here with Austyn.
What's up?
Austyn. You know him from this podcast. He obviously, he edits the podcast because I call to him every single fucking one that we record. I like to talk to him through the camera. We're here today to talk about Spider-Man 2. First off, how's it going, Austyn?
It's going great, man. It's going great. And how are you?
Just the same, man.
Just the same. Yeah, I feel that. It's great. Like another day.
Yeah, I'm glad to be recording this today, though.
Hell yeah, I'm pumped to talk about it because I've wanted to talk about it for a while, but like, no, you're the one of the few people I know that has the game. So everyone else, I'm just like.
Yeah, that's true. You and my bosses at the place I work have played this game, and it came out like 2 months ago now. Already.
I know, it's crazy. It's been out for a while.
And I've just been sitting around waiting for a new game plus because I don't want to go through all the grind again. I just want to like play the story with.
I feel
all
that
the shit that I have.
one of my like only real gripes I have with the game right now would be fixed with New Game Plus, I think, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
It's more of a small spoilery one. How are we gonna do this? Are we gonna do like we'll talk like as much non-spoiler as we can, and then we'll do some spoiler stuff after?
No, honestly, man, like it's been 2 months.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Spoilers are gonna be ahead.
All right, well then I'm putting in all the spoiler gameplay. Get fucked, viewers.
Yeah, exactly. Spoiler, a fucking alert. Let's talk about the story first.
Hell yeah.
First compared to like. It was about as long as the first Spider-Man game.
Yeah, but
it was nice because it was like triple the amount long as Miles Morales because Miles was like felt like just like the buffer between everything. Even though it was a good game and it changed a lot and made a lot of things better from the first one.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you about that because like you very recently played through the first two games.
I've played all three of them
like kind of
first time
like shotgun them. So I played the first one like years and years ago when it first came out in 2018, and then I played Miles when it came out with the PS5. So like how was your experience playing it like shotgun, like back to back like that?
Dude, well, first of all, I literally bought a PS5 just so I could play Spider-Man.
Checks out, honestly.
So I paid like $800 just to play Spider-Man Remastered.
Worth. And
I just like I don't really play video games often at all. So like I was really hyped for this one. I play like fucking the games I play like when they come out are like Nintendo shit, like Mario Kart and Animal Crossing and all that shit like that. Sometimes I'll play like a Grand Theft Auto if it comes out. I'll play now Spider-Man when it comes out and Fortnite, but whatever. And it was such a fucking big difference going from those going from both of those three games. The first game I was like, it doesn't even get better than this, man. This is amazing. I'm fucking Spider-Man. This is so fun. Because I also played the remastered version, so they probably like juiced up a few things from the original 2018 game.
From what I noticed in my playthrough of the remaster, the biggest difference was the way you pull up your like the web gadgets wheel was like changed because they wanted to make it match with Miles, because in Miles it was the R1 button. So they changed that, and then like the frame rate thing where you could play it in like high, like 60 frames, like, so that was kind of the biggest difference, and like the face, I guess.
The game wouldn't even render how fast. Like the game goes so fast now, the new one,
Oh, it's
Like
crazy.
the reason the swinging was so slow in the first one is probably because the map just wouldn't fucking spawn.
Like I feel like I'll only go back to those first few games to like replay the story, and that's about it. Because like I'll never just
Same.
like pop in them to like web swing around, because there's no point. Because the second one is just, it's so much vastly better, the web swing.
Exactly. So I platinumed it. This is probably the first game I've ever platinumed, or cared to at least. I've 100%ed the other two, but not platinumed.
Right.
And I went back to like remaster to like do some like milestones in platinum, and I was like, fuck this. I just want to do the backflip swinging and use wings and like
No,
do
I know.
all that shit.
I feel that. But like story wise, you enjoyed the story of the first two? Or I guess, yeah, I have the first one.
I
and then
did
Miles.
really enjoy this. I really liked the story with Octavius in the first one,
Yeah.
and all the introducing Miles into the franchise too. I thought they did it in a cool way, and
Yeah.
how like they gave him an intro in that first game, so he didn't have to deal with it in this in his.
And
honestly,
it feels like
which was nice.
the build up to Octavius being a villain felt very like natural, you know? Like I like how they kind of pitched it as like he was working with Peter at first, and you're kind of like doing a lot of the sciencey stuff, and then you gradually see that kind of shift into crazy.
Kind of like Harry, honestly. In the new
A
game.
little bit. Yeah, like that was, I could feel that one coming, and it hurt.
Yeah. I liked the Miles Morales story. I didn't love it. I obviously had a really good time playing it because they added a lot more like mechanics and the swinging and the fighting and stuff. Like the combo, you could do more fun combos. You also had different gadgets.
Yeah.
And you also had the Venom jump and dash that you could do.
Well, like all his Venom powers just like makes his gameplay feel so distinct, which is like which is what I like about Miles. Like he's got those kind of
Which is kind
powers.
of, I mean, in a way, like in the new game, they do have Venom jump and dash for Pete too. It's just called something different.
Yeah, he uses the,
which I don't know. I like that you
spider
can do it
arms.
with Pete, but it feels like it kind of takes away that uniqueness from Miles.
Miles a bit. I feel like that's like how I feel about the spider arms in general in Spider-Man 2. Like it was, I feel like it's there just because they had to give him some kind of power off the bat. Like, you know, he gets the symbiote power eventually, but they had to give him something that like he can have other than
Who, Pete?
Yeah, other than like just the symbiote
iron
powers, because you know
sword,
Miles is gonna get the Venom stuff the whole time. But I saw somebody posted on like on Twitter the idea that like they should have given, instead of giving Peter like the spider arms, they should have given him like big like obnoxious like web kind of thing. Like in the comics, he makes like a big like web fist or like a big web spike ball, like something like that. You know what I mean?
That's fun.
That would have been
I
fun.
like that. Yeah.
Maybe in the next one.
Yeah, maybe, which probably won't be for like 4 years or something like that, 3 or 4 years, because they got Wolverine.
Yeah,
we'll talk about
true.
that after.
But the story was really good. It was fun. Like I liked the dynamic that Peter and Harry had. Like, 'cause they bring Harry back in this one, and it was kind of like you right away you're like, oh, these guys are best friends. Like, it checks out.
Yeah, I liked how we kind of got the story where like I feel like all the movies we see Pete's like love story build and build and build, and I like how in the second one they're just like just the happy couple.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice to see them, Pete and Mary Jane, just like chilling like that.
I think my favorite part though ultimately is the fact that like normally when you see the symbiote story done like in the comics or cartoons or even like the movies, they've always done it where like Peter has to kind of overcome that himself. Like, but I like the idea that he had Miles there as a partner to be like, hey man, like I know you as Spider-Man, like you don't do this shit. Like, what's up, man? Like, why are you being such a prick?
He had someone to pull him out that he could actually like fight.
Yeah,
he just body immediately.
Exactly.
I really I think this was my favorite story out of the 3.
Yeah.
That we've had so far. I think I really liked it. I think there were a lot more like, I think the action was really cool. The fights were, some of them were longer, some of them were shorter. Like the Scream fight was like longer than the Venom fight, which was nutty.
I think the boss fights in general felt a lot better in this than they did in the first Spider-Man game. Like, they were good.
They felt more epic.
Yeah.
They felt more often too, which was nice. So you felt like you were doing a lot. I feel like also this like the side missions in this game too were also way better. Like none of them were annoying.
No.
They were all like really beautiful, honestly. Like there were like the one like the Howard mission and the Grandpa mission, like those were really fucking wholesome and really just heartwarming to
even
see.
Like that one where you play as like Miles' girlfriend Haley and you do the spray paint.
Yeah,
like that's so cool. Like
the
that's such a cool one.
Mission, like Spider-Man isn't just like, he's not just there to like beat the shit out of someone, you know, like he's there to help, and it's a really good representation of how he helps in other ways. I think those side missions.
Yeah, and even like I think my
Because
favorite
they-
one was when it was like the flashback one where he's talking to Jonah on the phone.
Oh yeah, and he's in Little Pete. I saw fucking a glitch on the internet where it was like you could somehow like get out of bounds
Oh, okay.
on the bike as Pete, and then just go swing around as young Pete.
Oh, that's cool.
I saw like someone doing that, which is fun. And then I also saw one where, do you know the Spider-Verse mission where we're with Miles, and he swings into like Antarctica.
Yeah, that's the
I saw
the
someone
black
else just go
the Black Cat one there where they yeah.
I saw someone like just swing and then they fell into the water.
Oh
and
no.
that way they could like swim out a bit, and they were just swinging around
The like Arctic
glaciers
area.
and shit. Yeah.
That mission was really cool too. Like you could tell I think Insomniac are the same ones that made that make Ratchet and Clank, and like when the PS5
Yes.
first came out, they made a Rift Apart, I think it's called, and it like that whole game was that idea of like portaling to different areas of different maps and stuff. So you can tell that like you can see the crossover, like they adapted it in a really good way.
So freaking woot-wee.
What did you think of
I really
the
like
what did you think of that Spider-Verse the Spider-Bots mission? Because that one I had to Google it because I had no idea who that chick was.
In the bar?
Yeah.
See, I also like didn't realize that those stations like pop up every time you finish one. I didn't realize they were not all on the map when you start. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So like I was like at the end of the game and I was trying to 100% it, and every time I finished one, another one would pop up, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening right now?" I'm
Right.
gonna like go crazy. But I like that. It looks like it was like our movie Miles universe.
So I Googled it, and apparently it was a deleted scene from Across the Spider-Verse where she's like a spider person in the network, like working at this bar, and they were supposed to have a
And
scene
Miles
that
from
involved
the
her.
video game swings in.
Yeah, yeah. Or no, sorry,
What's
it was,
that?
like I think Miles from the movie would like popped in.
Oh, okay.
But she was like, I think that was how that connection was supposed to work. But it definitely doesn't come across that way now because it ended up being a deleted scene. So I was like, she popped up and she's talking about like Miguel and stuff, and I was like, wait, who is this person? Like, she did not.
Knowing it's a deleted scene kind of crushes all my dreams that like we'd get like a Spider-Verse thing. In the
Maybe
next
though,
movie, or,
maybe
a
like
Miguel
she might
thing.
pop up in the next one now.
Because it would be really cool if that's how they did it. Like
Yeah.
if they brought in like a multiverse thing, because they already kind of did. They did Sinister Six was the first one, right? That
Well,
was
and
the
I
six,
think
or-
like the Spider-Man from the video game universe, he's in Across the Spider-Verse for like a split second, and I think they said that it's like after it takes place like in like that version that we see in the movie is like from the future, like it's not where they're currently at in the game's timeline. So
Okay.
there might be a more significant like crossover in the third game.
How old is Miles like as a character in general? Like how long has that character been around? To like was that Finn whole backstory adapted like made for the video game, or is that adapted from
that
like,
was like
comics?
brand new because the Tinkerer is like some like B C tier Spider-Man villain in the comics who never really like
Okay.
they're like your I don't know like Condiment King or some shit from Batman, you know, just like this like. But Miles has been around since like the early 2000s, so I think that was like a story they kind of wanted to
really?
adapt. Yeah, like he started on since 2011 was his first appearance
Okay, that's like 12 years.
in Ultimates. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
crazy
that's a
how
while.
much he's become like, and it's so funny watching people debate online all the time doing the whole like, oh, he's like not Spider-Man thing. It's like, bro, like he's got like movies, he's got his own video game. Like, how you gonna
Yeah.
say he's not Spider-Man?
You know what's really funny? In the very end of the Spider-Man 2 game, you you get like the Pete going to Miles and being like, "Can you be Spider-Man for a little bit?"
Yeah.
Or Miles is like, "I'll be Spider-Man for a little bit. You got it. Like just live your life, do what you need to do." And then you can just play as Pete immediately after and go
yeah.
be Spider-Man
Yeah.
himself and fight crime and everything.
Well, I feel like he didn't like retire. Like it didn't come off to me as like a retirement. It felt more like he's just like, hey, I want to like do more Peter Parker stuff now because now that
Yeah.
I can like, and I have backup out there who will like help me. Like ultimately, I saw a lot of people concerned that he's not like, oh, like they're gonna kill him or like he's not gonna be in the third game, and it's like, come on, man, like he's still Spider-Man.
be in
He's
the
still gonna
third
be
game.
in the third game.
Yeah, it just might be a couple years later, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it'll be more because I don't know if you know, but like at the end when Miles' mom invites her like date over for dinner, and then he's like, "Oh, this is my daughter Cindy." That is her name is Cindy Mills, I think, but she is a character called Silk, who is she was like also bitten by the same spider that Peter Parker was bitten by, but she was like kept in a lab most of her life. Cindy Moon, sorry, is her name. And she was like kept in a lab doing experiments on, but she also has like similar spider powers. So I feel like she'll be probably a playable character if I had to guess. Like it'll be a third spider person.
Cool, like a Spider-Woman side mission.
Yeah, and then you got like, maybe? And then you can do like Spider-Woman skins and stuff. Like you can give her like Spider-Gwen costumes. You can give her like Spider-Woman costumes.
Oh, dude, you know what would be fun? Like a Prowler DLC.
That'd be cool. What are your like hopes, I guess, now that the game's out, and they're like, what would you want to see from it still? Because like, I mean, the first game they did like a whole DLC expansion story thing, so like I imagine they're gonna hopefully do something similar.
Well,
right?
I think in this game they set up like the ability for Carnage DLC, if not in the next game, because remember the Flame?
Yeah, that's
like
definitely
that's
leader,
definitely like
Carnage.
has the Carnage symbiote.
Yeah. I'm curious if they're going to do it as like DLC, or if they'll save him for, maybe they do. Like, I feel like he could be a big like DLC where they save him as like a side character for the third game or something.
I really hope they do DLC, man, because that would be super fun.
Because the problem too is like they killed a lot of the villains. You know what I mean? Like Kraven just fucking like offed half of them.
We could get Norman Green Goblining up, or Harry Green Goblining.
I feel like
Norman could turn to that in the resentfulness of Spider-Man.
Yeah, and you can already see that in the end. Like,
or
he's pissed.
Harry wakes up, is fucking pissed, and that consumes him, and he becomes Green Goblin. Either way could go.
I feel like they'll do Norman. Like I feel like he'll be a good Probably Green Norman, Goblin vessel, and it'll be like I don't know if they're setting up like a new Sinister Six too, because the post credits is he goes to Octavius, right? And you're kind of like, oh, so like he's coming back in the equation too.
He also what was I gonna say about Damn it, who were we just talking about? God damn it.
Oh, Carnage?
Yeah. I'll come back to it. Anyway. What was your favorite suit, bro?
Favorite suit? So I'm a simp for Superior Spider-Man. Like that costume is so sleek, and especially because
which one was that one again?
It's like all black, but he's got like the red kind of like top half spider thing, and he's got like claw hands and stuff. What I like about like that one and like the Iron Spider one is like he has the like I guess one of Peter's like abilities is he gets like the Iron Spider arms just like default as part of his like moveset. And when you use those certain suits like the Superior Spider, Iron Spider, like the arms change to match the actual suit.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is sweet, yeah. But I like Superior. That was like one of my favorite runs. That one and like the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit is like that one's goated.
I'm glad they put the second movie one in.
Oh yeah. What about you,
Miles? Top like is like, you know that track suit one where it can be like hot pink and red. That one, the fucking like tux, or not the tux, but like the
one from the music side quest.
Yeah. That one. And I like the Mysterio one.
Yeah, that one was good too. I liked his one where he's wearing like the jacket and the hoodie. Like I know that one was from the last game, but I really like the way they did the shaders in this, because I feel like they put some like really good color schemes in there for some of the suits. Like I know for Peter's like classic suit, they gave him one that's like the blue is a bit darker and stuff, and it matches like some of the older like cell shading they used to do in like the 60s and shit when Spider-Man came out, and like that was a cool like variation for it. Same with Miles, they gave him the one that like, because the tracksuit one always bothered me in the last game because he was wearing like the normal Peter Parker like red mask. I was like, oh, they should have given him like his actual like black and red mask, but they did in this one, which was really nice. What about your favorite Peter suit? You said your favorite Miles one. What about your favorite?
It's fun.
Oh, the Arachnite one. I never got the deluxe edition, so I didn't use some of those suits.
Spider-Man 2. Honestly, man, like the deluxe edition I bought with the 5 extra suits for each of them, I rarely use any of those suits.
Yeah, none of them looked really appealing to me. Like they're cool designs, really, but like they don't really feel like Spider-Man.
I'm glad I got them, but it's like whatever. I like Amazing Spider-Man 2 as well. Yeah. There's one where it turns like a dark, like a mustardy yellow and like a green. It might literally be like his advanced suit, like his original game suit, but there's like a green, yellowy, like dark color of it. I really like.
I mean, yeah, his like main suit, like the advanced suit or whatever. Like I use that one for most of my first playthrough. Like that one's great, honestly. And it was such an upgrade from the first game.
I'm upset that they didn't put Peter B. Parker.
See, that's where I think
Peter
like
Parker was a good one.
They probably will. I imagine they're because like in the first game they did a lot of like DLC costumes, and I think they're probably saving some for DLC.
Also, the fucking 100% for the remastered or original, I guess. Also, it's
you
just
got the
him in
underwear
his fucking
suit.
underwear. Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't any like fun little Easter eggs like that. I feel like in this new one. Other than like
Not
some of
as
the
much,
achievements,
no.
like the achievement where you like run the bases or whatever, like that was kind of fun.
Yeah, the bases and going to and visiting the graves. That was nice. What else?
What like?
Well, yeah, the swinging was just upgraded completely.
Yeah,
in this
and like
game.
the web
fact that
wings
you
made
can
it so much
slingshot.
better.
Yeah, slingshotting, web wings, the wind tunnels, the ricochet where you can spin yourself around and shoot yourself.
I think the slingshot was my
really
favorite
fun.
part. Like I do that all the time.
Yeah, I log on sometimes and I just go on like the super slingshot and I just fly everywhere.
You just launch everywhere.
Yeah.
Dude,
You launch, Venom jump, Venom dash, and then you're just
what did you think
flying.
what did you think of his web gadgets in this one? Because they were kind of different.
Oh yeah. So the web gadgets, because in the first game you put you hold down R1 or L1 or something like that, and then you switch with your toggle.
Yeah, you get like a weapons wheel type thing.
But this one, it's like a combo of L1 and R1 in the main four buttons, and shapes, which I was thrown off at first because obviously I had played the other ones recently too, so I was really expecting the same kind of mechanics. So I didn't get that, so I was like, what is going on? And they had a little less weapons gadgets in this game, which didn't bother me once I figured out how to use everything.
Yeah, true.
Because once you figure out how to use, like, you can use the one where it like brings everyone in and then you go over them and you venom jump. Like once you really figure out those like combos, it's fun.
I think that's and I saw an interview with like the director who basically said that they wanted their focus was more on like gadgets that help you like do cool combos and stuff rather than just like one shot kills. Because in the other game you had like the impact webs and the web bombs and those were kind of just like insta kills, you know, like you would just launch people.
1 hit, 2 hits for a brute.
Whereas like I like the ricochet web. I think that was my favorite because it just like ding 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 like bounced around.
I really liked the I don't remember what it was called, but it was a web where you threw it down in the first one and then it would just web up 3 people on the wall.
Oh yeah, like the traps, like the trip mines or whatever, right?
Yeah, the trap. Yeah, the trip mines.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, I missed that one too.
Was there any new gadgets in this one?
There was like the one that like it like launched people in the air. That one felt kind of like useless. Honestly.
Also, bro, I only use the anti-venom powers for Peter. I don't really put the other ones on again.
Oh, see, I kind of like flip-flopped a little. It's my main beef, literally my only real beef I have right now is that after you beat the story, like he has the anti-venom powers, but if I go back and want to use one of the like black suits, it just feels weird because it's like the anti-venom moves with the black suit, and also, I wish you could like change it so that the color would match the suit you're wearing. You know what I mean? So that like post game I can wear a black suit and then I can use all the venom stuff properly.
I like the details though, like when you do the venom suits, they have the webs or the color of the venom. But I thought when he lost the symbiote, I didn't know much about the anti-venom shit. Right. And I was just like, fuck, you're just gonna give me such a good fucking loadout of fucking
they
moves
did some
and then
like
get rid
interesting
of it.
stuff.
And then you get
Venom.
the anti-venom back and you're like, oh, thank God.
Like obviously they changed it because like Harry Osborn was Venom, like, and so that was like a big kind of shift around, which I think it was pretty obvious that he was going to end up being Venom anyway.
Yeah, or some villain at least.
Yeah, but the whole idea of like, and I actually was interesting because like in the comics they've done a bunch of like all that stuff has been done with Venom, and the whole spiral thing it leads to like the ultimate like the symbiote god. I think his name's like I think it's Cruel or something like that. And he's kind of like the symbiote god or whatever. So that's where like all those other kind of like symbiote variants that you end up fighting kind of come from too. And the whole anti-venom thing was like a response to that. But it's it comes from like when Eddie Brock eventually like he like loses the symbiote a bunch, but then he gets the symbiote back, but he's like in control of it now. It's not like Venom anymore. So he becomes somebody called Agent Venom, which when Harry first kind of has the symbiote and he's being a hero, that outfit that he's wearing, that is like the Agent Venom kind of look, is like this more like military armory kind of thing, but he still has all the Venom powers. And then eventually, when I think Cruella and all those other symbiotes come to attack him, is when he kind of switches over to the whole anti-Venom thing. But it was a cool way to. I wonder like if Peter will just keep it. Like why not? Like you have your own symbiote now.
No, yeah, he there's no consequences now. He just has those powers.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll keep them. In the next game, I would really hope that he has that loadout at least, or maybe
if they have like a good explanation for why he can't use it anymore or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then something better comes along, another type of power.
They should do the web things.
Yeah.
I read a rumor. So like speculation time, but I read a rumor that the DLC they were planning to do for this game involved Daredevil, because you know how when you were,
I think I heard something about that too.
You know how like and that was another cool thing I found was like all the random combat situations you would show up and like like Yuri would just be there fighting, or like Miles or like Harry, like they all just kind of would be like show up and fight with you.
How fun would that be if Daredevil did it? You know,
and like maybe
Nelson and Murdoch's in the game.
Right? And like maybe Kingpin wants revenge on both Peter and Miles because they both fucked with him in their respective first games. So maybe he's like, yo, fuck both these spider guys. Like I want revenge on both of them. And then they need help from another superhero who also doesn't like Kingpin.
Who knows?
But I'd be down for Carnage too. That'd be cool.
Yeah, no. I mean, the last game they had 3 separate DLC things, so we could do a Carnage one. They could do a Daredevil one. And they could do, who knows? Like,
I guess like what? So like the other villain they set up was Chameleon. You could maybe do some with Chameleon.
Yeah.
But I feel like you save him for the third game, because the other thing, like I said, like they killed all the villains. So like come third game, like what other villains are going to be in the game? You're not going to have Shocker. You're not going to have Electro. You're not going to have any of those guys.
Spider-Verse.
Except Rhino. I think he's the only one that they never actually confirmed if they killed him or not.
True.
But all the other ones got murked.
Just get absolutely murked. I also liked all the puzzles in this game too. I think it could be cool in like a side mission. If we were to get even just another Miles game, which is, I don't know even if it would even happen, but like, you know how we have like kind of like side missions in the first game where Pete like would solve the puzzles in the office? It could be like, I don't know, Genki making something.
Doing like hacking stuff. I thought the
shit.
sciencey like side missions in this were way more fun than the weird like electric current shit you had to do in the first game.
Yeah. Also the fucking screwball stuff in the first game made me want to like fall off a cliff. And the only thing in this game that got a little annoying was the Mysterio things when you were trying to 100%.
Same idea, yeah. And
the don't get hit ones, it's like, what?
There's a couple where like the time ones, it's like, oh, you got to take out all the enemies in like less than a minute, and it's like I tried to do it the other day and I got so frustrated. I was like, I just need to wait until I have all of his abilities and like all the stuff maxed out, and then come back to it.
That's what I did too. I like when you're just swinging in on crimes in the city and that big fucking gray symbiote comes up, using literally every gadget and every fucking like power against him just for him to not even fall over.
And I also really like that like wall kicking thing he does where he just like kicks a guy in the wall like a million times. It's so good.
Just tap dances on him, horizontal tap dance. The finishers are really good in this game when they both use them.
Yeah,
they, like use them together.
The one where he would like a random Spider-Man would just come like swinging through and he'd give him like a thumbs up on his way by.
Or you just like throw him over and then he just grabs him and just literally like grabs the villain, grabs the ground, and just pulls him towards the ground.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like all those fucking memes on TikTok and Instagram? It was just like, in quotes, it's like Spider-Man doesn't kill people. And then you just see Miles and Peter and Insomniac just fucking cracking spines and throwing people off buildings.
No, it's like Spider-Man and Daredevil and Batman and like Moon Knight. They're all part of the I won't kill you, but your hospital bills will squad, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, like in the first game, and I'm sure it happens in this one too, but I didn't really pay attention to it, is when you kick people like off a roof, you're like, oh fuck, they're actually dead, but then they're actually just webbed up
like, webbed
halfway
to the
down
wall.
the building.
Yeah. Well, and I know in the comics, Spider-Man always says his webs dissolve after like 60 minutes or whatever. So I'm like, man, I hope they get to those guys
Cops,
before.
Yeah, the firefighters have an hour to get. Also, like, way to leave villains in the most inconvenient spot. Like, you know, in like the first Spider-Verse movie, like where he webs up Kingpin in between the two buildings, like. Put him on the ground, man.
Just like web him to a wall or something. Like
it's gonna take so much time for everyone to go up and fix him, and a fire truck's gonna have to go up there, and then what are they gonna have to carry him down?
Yeah.
It's fucking Kingpin.
And it's like as soon as you start like cutting him down, like who knows, he might just like fall completely. All the webs will just give out.
He might fall into the sewer and just run away.
Yeah,
that's how fucking heavy he is.
What's something you didn't like about the second one?
That Howard died. No, I'm kidding.
True though, honestly.
Something I didn't like.
Doesn't have to be a big thing. Like I said, my big thing was the whole like when you go back to the black Venom suit afterwards, like it's just the white ability still, which is like fine, but I wish they like added it so you could switch the color, especially because you know how you get the classic Venom suit later on, and it's got like the cool like animated style cell shading where it's got like the blue on one side and the red on the other. Like I was so pumped to use that suit with the Venom abilities once I beat it, but then it was like, oh, now you got the white abilities. Like it just felt so cheap. I was like, oh, this isn't like, or it's like taking out my immersion, I guess.
I can think of something better while I say this, but it's a little thing. But you know, when Miles fights and Pete fights and then Yuri helps, I want to reach a point where she actually does fucking like high five you.
Yeah.
Instead of just walking
maybe in the
away.
next one, you know, she was coming around by the end of it.
Next one. Yeah, she was. Oh, what is it? I'm trying to think if there's anything. Like, I wish you were able to play as Venom more. I understand
that one mission was such a treat. Like I was so I did not see that coming.
I'm just glad we got it. I'm glad we got it in general.
I want to have like I'm gonna make like a separate save file that's just that mission, so that I can just go back to it whenever I want and just like tear it up, and then just like reload the mission from the start before I like quit out, so that before I finish it, so that I can just like have it there and keep playing as Venom whenever I want.
That's a great idea. I wish. I don't know. I think I want another Miles game. I feel like I wanted to see more Miles in this game.
Well, maybe that might be, like you said, like if they do like multiple DLCs, maybe they do one where it's just. Because see, my other thought
maybe
too was like
DLC is just Miles.
Yeah, I had a thought where they do maybe they do one that's like Miles like afterwards. Now he's like the main Spider-Man. You know, he's like saving the city from something, and then they do another one that's just Peter, but it's like a flashback, because like in this one in particular they did a lot of like these flashbacks to when he was kind of like in high school and stuff, and it'd be cool if they did like
high school
a whole DLC where it's like like high school era Peter Parker doing his Spider-Man thing. He's like introduced to some villain for the first time, like Electro or something, like their first battle. Let's say
those relationships build. That'd
be kind of cool.
Honestly, like this game pretty like hit it out of the park for me.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
I just wish there was more. Like I wish I had like I'm doing my second playthrough right now, and it's great. And I just wish like I wish there was so much more to do.
Yeah, I haven't started my second playthrough yet. I don't know if I'm gonna wait for New Game Plus or not, but
just do it. Just pull the trigger.
I'll do it, and I'll do it, and I'll save it at the Venom part.
Just do it for that first mission where you fight Sandman, because that shit like. That was so crazy. That shit was so. I just was like, I had this big
also,
goofy smile on my face.
Yeah, the Craven mission on the water.
That's one of the missions that I'm playing gameplay for right now. It's that one, and then the lizard boss fight was a big one that I recorded too.
Fuck yeah.
That boss fight was kind of fucked up, because like at first he's like, I want to help you, and then by the end of it he's like, your wife should hate you, and you're like, oh man, like you're being such a dick.
I know I do say I wanted more Miles, but it still was a nice story arc where he got that whole thing with Martin Lee, and how he kind of has more Mr. Negative powers, which is cool, and how he kind of had that closure in a sense.
There was a lot of villain redemption in this one. Did you notice that?
Yeah, there was for for Pete, honestly, too.
For Tombstone.
For Tombstone.
And then like
for
Mysterio.
Mysterio. I mean, kind of. He kind of fucking turns again at the end.
But it wasn't.
You kind of realize he's been sus the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
then,
I don't think he'll play a big part in the next fucking, like, there's no way you can do those, like, villains in the first two and then just have Mysterio be the guy at the end.
Unless they do more of, like, what they did in this one, which was just, like, it was like a challenge mode, basically. Like, here, like,
I mean, Spider-Man
like,
already
time
got him
trials
down
and
bad,
stuff.
clearly,
Yeah.
because he's, like, doing fair rides, so.
What was your least favorite costume?
The final Miles.
Oh, dude. I feel like it's
shit
just
was
like if you
trash.
didn't have his hair out, it would have been fine.
It's like, I understand, like, sure. When you're Miles, show off your hair. You have wonderful hair, lad.
But also in retrospect, it
but,
was
like,
just like
Secret
it's
Identities,
just
bro.
an Adidas ad. Like he's just wearing like the Adidas sneakers and the workout shirt and
The colors are just rough. I don't know. And it's, like, almost as bad as that beat he made in his game.
I also
In
Peter
Aaron's
has this
fucking
one. It's like
basement.
they call it like the Civil War suit where he's got like army pants and these weird like goggle things.
I don't really care for that.
I didn't really fuck with that. I was like, it was kind of cool though because it's like the web wings were like actual wings that popped out of like his backpack. That was kind of cool.
The DLCs are kind of medium. The DLC suits, I should say. Sorry, the pre-order suits. They're pretty medium. I
like the Moon Knight ones. The cape looked real good.
Yeah, Arachnite was fucking dope.
Yeah.
There are a couple Miles ones I really didn't like. There was like the Miles had a kind of army one too that I didn't really like. I don't know the names of them off the top of my head though.
Yeah,
It was
I'm not
more
sure.
just camo. It was more just camo pants.
Oh, okay. I think I know which one you're talking about. It was in the first game, right?
Yeah, it's in the second one too.
Yeah.
I think I like more of Miles's costume suits better than I like Pete's suits. There were a couple from the first games that I wish they included.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard too because they try to do all these like unique costumes and stuff, but ultimately like nothing beats the classics, man. Like I spent most of my time playing like the most classic versions of the suits because they just look so good. Like
I know I spent most of my time probably in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, like there's a reason why Spider-Man's looked the same way since like the 60s when he first started in the comics because like it's just like that's a tough design to beat, man.
Mm-hmm.
Except Superior, that one's good. But I'm biased.
Cosmic? That should be Cosmic Spider-Man.
Oh, maybe that. Hey, that'd be a good DLC one too. The way it would like move around and stuff. I did like that they gave Miles both into and across the Spider-Verse. I wasn't sure if they were gonna do that, but it was, and they had the like frame ratey kind of effect, so it like felt very authentic. Like it was like, oh, like this is actually
we got Noir
his.
and
The Noir.
Did
one
we have
too.
Noir in the last game?
It was, but it was more. It wasn't like the Into the Spider-Verse Noir. It was like more like comic book Noir.
Okay.
And it didn't even. I don't know. It didn't look that great. It wasn't one of my favorites.
Yeah, I didn't really care for it. The Spider-Verse animation is cool, but only for a little bit.
I didn't even mind that they ported like a bunch
back.
of the suits from the first two games because like they're kind of like classic designs. I just wish that they, instead of doing like newer weird ones, they would have ported more of like the comic booky ones or like maybe maybe like less of the movie ones because like I won't lie, like they had like every version of Tom Holland's costumes in there and like I don't know, some of the ones from like Far From Home you can leave those out. Like I'm not rushing to play as those ones, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, especially because they had, you know, the one there, he was like it was the Fantastic Four costume with the bag head. That's actually from the symbiote comics. Like when he originally in the comics, when he gets the symbiote, he goes to the Fantastic Four and he's like, hey, what's up with this? And Reed Richards is like, yo, this is an alien. Like you shouldn't wear this. And he's like, oh, okay. And then they're like, here, like, he's like, I don't have any clothes to wear home. And they're like, here, you can just take one of our uniforms. But he's like, I need a mask. And they just like throw a paper bag on him. And they're like, there you go. You're good.
I do love that costume, and I thought it was funny, but I wish we could have gotten like a full Fantastic Four, like cool looking one.
Did you see? Did you find the? Did you notice the Baxter Building?
Yeah, I noticed some helicopter pads.
Yeah,
had the Fantastic Four on there.
I like seeing this progression
just as well
of like
as Nelson
this.
and Murdoch is somewhere.
Yeah, there was like an eviction notice apparently on the door, but then they took it out. I heard.
Oh. Honestly, I hope Insomniac builds up a whole like superhero.
Well, they already said that like Wolverine is going to take place in this same universe as Spider-Man, and I like seeing the progression of like this New York City because like there's that big construction like towers mission that you do in the first Spider-Man game, and like in this one those towers are like fully built now, and then like the Baxter Building in it's where it's where Fisk Tower is. It's like basically Fisk Tower was there, and then in Miles they show that Fisk Tower is kind of like out of commission, it's out of business now, and then in this one like now it's taken over. It's like fully the Baxter Building, which is kind of cool.
Well, in Miles it was taken over by the what's it called, Finn's group. I forgot what they're
the tech guys.
Yeah, the tech guys. Yeah, the tech guys. Underground.
Oh, the Underground. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Aust, what would you rate this game out of 10?
Oh man, honestly, it's like a solid 8.7 to a 9 for me. Like I really, like my only few complaints I have are like things that they can change. Like I said, the thing with the Venom thing, like that's an update. You can fix that in like an update that patches that into the game. It's not like a big game. Like I don't have many gripes gameplay wise and stuff. Maybe like a little bit more focus on the stealth, because it felt very like the stealth kind of got.
I missed the stealth.
It was like you can still stealth, but it didn't feel like they were giving you stuff to help you along with the stealth. But yeah, like it's great. It's like these games are like the like I'm jealous that I grew up with like Spider-Man games that were kind of like mid, you know. I mean, like people look at them pretty fondly, but like in retrospect, they're not great, you know. Like, but now, but like, imagine being a kid nowadays, growing up, and this is like the Spider-Man video games you get. Like this be fucking like, oh my god, little kid me would have lost his shit.
Yeah, man. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, I don't really play many games. Honestly, I've been kind of playing a little more lately, but like I don't really play much. So Spider-Man like really fucking hit it out of the park for me. I got it, and every gripe I say, like for lack of a better term, I have is just because like it doesn't have to do with the quality of playing the game, and anything I have to complain about would just be that I want more.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with like 9.5.
Yeah.
No, fuck it. I'm going 10.
This guy's giving it a full 10.
I fucking love this game.
Perfect 10-10.
I'm giving it a full 10 because this is probably my favorite game I've ever played.
Honestly, it's like it's a contender for game of the year, like for me at least. Like I played a bunch of good games this year, but it's
yeah. Game of the year for me, definitely.
Yeah.
NOG Fortnite.
NOG Fortnite.
I said it. OG Fortnite. Playing as Spider-Man.
So you're still technically playing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm still technically playing Spider-Man. Oh fuck. Well, anyway, thanks for coming, Oz.
Hey, of course, man.
Thanks for coming on.
Any opportunity to talk Spider-Man.
I'll take the gag off Jordan and untie him so he can be in the next episode that we record.
We'll let him come back.
Okay, fine. We'll let him out of the cage. Guys, make sure you're following us, subscribing, liking, doing whatever you can on whatever you listen or watch.
Spread the love.
Make us, to just show us some love, rate us, like us, all the wonderful things, because we are super grateful for you.
Hell yeah.
And we will see you when we see you, honestly. Okay, so
whenever we let Jordan out.
Yeah, whenever we let Jordan out. And we might have a new studio soon.
Oh.
A new room. Jordan is looking to move, which might have an extra room, and I am gaining a room in the place I live, so we might have some different options. Anyway,
very nice, very fun.
We'll talk about so yeah, we'll see you soon, guys. One love.
Bye.